Directors, Timberon Water and Sanitation District, Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024, 4 p.m. Timberon Community Center Lodge, 1 Bob White Circle, Timberon, New Mexico, 88350. Y'all stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico,
is a symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Okay, roll call in. Director Borzoni, myself, Director Hardesty, Director Burmeister present. We have a motion to approve our agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it now. Okay, moving on to our manager's report.
Okay, since the last meeting, we had 30 work orders. 18 are completed, 12 are open, 11 were leaks, 3 locates, 1 meter replacement, 1 meter box install, and the rest were miscellaneous. I would also like to apply for a grant from the New Mexico Water Board. The notice of intent to file is due between July 15th and July 15th and 31st. I'd like to ask for $4,100,000. This would be for the next steps on our capital project. It would be funding to include labor as well as the cost for materials. We cover zones BP6 and G2. The engineer's estimate for zone BP6 is $358,000 and zone G2 is $3,723,138, totaling $4,081,685. With the cost increase next year, I feel that $4,100,000 would be sufficient. This is also a 10% matching grant with the possibility of a waiver because of the water loss. Yeah.
Oh, you want to tell people where those areas are at?
Sure. It's the main areas where it's to include Dixwood to Pioneer to Norwood and all that area, as well as up here by no, right where you're at. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when we get down to, I guess, item number 9 on our agenda, we'll probably talk a little more about that.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to bring it to the attention of everyone here today that there has been illegal activities here at the lodge over the weekend. And there was cameras stolen from off the building, wiring and all. A police report was filed. There has also been suspicious activity that will be under further investigation. And I'm taking precautionary steps to avoid this happening again. Also, for the future reference, if there's any findings, TWSD will press charges. There will also be an open position coming up here in the office, so if anybody's interested, send me your resumes or stop by and drop one off.
Excuse me, the previous item the previous thing you just read, what was that about?
The cameras being stolen off the building?
Cameras stolen.
And that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I got two questions. One, what is that position that's open?
It's an administrative position.
Okay. And did you make a motion? Did
No,
you make a motion on this, $4 million?
no, we're gonna do that at 9, number 9. I jumped the gun. My apologies. Yeah, well, I'd love to get that address.
I have any questions for the manager?
Oh, is the administrative position full-time or part-time?
That's to be discussed.
Okay, and since
We're still in discussion about it.
since we don't have a treasurer at the moment, I guess we're gonna have to skip this next item. Unless you want. Guess it'd be better.
As of this afternoon, the account balance in the standby account was $5,011.75. The USDA account all stayed the same, just $166,991.04 and $7,924.08 and $50.32. On the general operations checking account, the balance is $65,983.83. The emergency fund stays at $86,048.30. And the F&S account is at $30,650.86.
Thank you. Okay, new business. Discuss approve regular meeting minutes of July 9, 2024. Everybody had an opportunity to check those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of July 9th, 2024 as written, no changes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it now. Okay, item number 2, new business. Discuss approve special meeting minutes of July 18, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the special meeting minutes of July 18th, 2024 as written, no changes.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Ayes have it, man. Okay, item number 3 is review application for open board of directors seat. Ma'am, do you have those applications? Or do we have any applications?
We do. Hang on.
When? Recently, there's been one running everywhere. It's a possibility, yeah. Because of our communications are down right now. Yep. It was it wasn't because of the big outage, but we think lightning struck, and we're waiting on parts to come in still. So in the meantime, everything's manual. We have to check towers manually. And, I have no idea. I thought that was a backup for the UPS, but We had that hardwired, and we called in the SCADA guys to come and fix everything. Right. Stuff to the monitor. I don't think, well, the UPS was supposed to be backup, you know, a backup. We're still waiting for it.
Okay, I have two applications, one from Dave Curry and one from Jesse Duckett. I would let y'all go by the date that you turned them in, but Jesse, you don't have a date on it, so I'll go with Dave's application first, and Dave, give you a few minutes if you want.
Okay, well, as you know, I was a board member, and we had a proof in the dates and tenureship of my position. We never quite figured it out, I don't think, but the records with the state and the counties were not jiving with what we had. Anyway, I could say a lot about a lot of things, but basically, I want everyone to know that I'm here in a positive way. I want to find positive outcomes, positive pathways forward. We can always find a lot of things to be critical of, but the hardest thing is to find pathways to correct the problems and move forward. And I sit on two other boards, one for a company that's about $12 million, and another one that's the $65 million company. And I've had tenureship on both of those boards for many years, and they've been very successful. I'm a local contractor, as all of you know. I'm trying to get retired this year. I try not to build anymore, and I'm going to retire this year. But anyway, I have a passion for the community and what's best for the community. And I want the community of Timberon to move forward with good water infrastructure and see the system to be improved constantly. And I think Renee has made astounding progress on moving forward with that. But anyway, I'm asking for the position back on the board, and I hope that everybody feels the same way. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Jesse, would you like to say anything?
I don't have my resume with me. I guess you'll have all of
Not mine.
Okay, I'll say everything Dave said. But I'm a long-term resident and have been on boards before, and former general manager. I think I know a lot about the system and boards.
Okay, would board have any questions for one of the applicants? Anybody in the audience have any questions for one of the applicants? Mike?
I just want to make a statement before y'all move on to the next agenda item.
You want to discuss this one or number 4?
Well, they're kind of all grouped together.
Well, here's your chance.
Okay. I'm going to do my best in an attempt to try to catalog how we got to this point where we're at right now in appointments. And I just want to first start by, so I'm protesting or point of order, or would like to engage the board in some discussion here about what the rights and privileges are of board members in order to make an appointment, the process for that. So I want to first indicate that Dave Crewy and Jesse Rattle were appointed to the board on July 25th, 2023. At that same meeting. Okay. Agenda item number 2 on that day in the minutes indicated a board vote and swearing of oath of new director for board seat 3 David Cruey was voted in for board seat 3. Then number 3 on the minutes was Jess Rattle. Board vote swearing in of oath of new director for board seat number 5. Jess Rattle was voted in for board seat number 5. Okay. So now we're going to come back to as to why I mentioned Mr. Rattle in a moment. But now I want to move to reading the Water and Sanitation District Statute, Chapter 73, Article 21, Section 13, which covers meetings. So I will read where it states, any vacancy on a board elected by qualified electors of the district shall be filled by the remaining members of that district or a member of the board, the appointee to act until the next biennial election, when the vacancy shall be filled by election. If the board or board of county commissioners, which we're not a board of county commissioners, but if a board fails to fill any vacancy within 30 days after it occurs, the court having jurisdiction shall fill the vacancy. Now, finally, I'm going to read an excerpt of the email that I received from Robin Holmes that I believe the board is in possession of. You've been forwarded this same letter. So, Ms. Holmes, the county clerk, the clerk for the county of Otero, responds to my email this way. Good afternoon, Michael. I apologize for the tardiness in my response, as I have been in and out of meetings all day. I have been made aware of the situation of a board member that isn't a board member, but has decided to sit on the board even though he did not run for office. And then she also goes on to state, I feel that anything that this board member has done since January 1, 2024 should be replaced on the agenda and revoted on, as he was not an actual member. She's stating December 31st, 2023, but in actuality it was January 9th, 2024, which would have been his last appointed day. Now, I'll come back to Mr. Rattle. Mr. Rattle was appointed at the same time. Mr. Rattle submitted application for candidacy and was then placed on the ballot for the November election for the board. So it was Jess Rattle, Spanky, and Paul Hagman on the ballot that day. So first thing that I want to point out that indicates that Mr. Cruey was not on the board nor a bona fide officer of the board after January 9th. Mr. Rattle put in to run. Dave did not. So on January 9th, the reason that the old board continues on just for that meeting is to conduct the swearing in of officers, not of officers, but swearing in of new board members. Now, an interesting tactic, I believe, was used that Mr. Cruey presented a resignation here recently. The resignation does not have the weight of a standard resignation. The point is, Mr. Cruey was not a valid board member, nor was he the chairman. So the action that I think you guys are going to do here today, I want to warn you and try to urge you not to take that action. But then to take the applicants that you received, or any more that you received, and forward it to the 12th District Court, because that is the court that has jurisdiction in this matter. And if you guys feel that I'm incorrect, I want to know what statutes you are using to rectify this situation. I want to add one more thing. If this board can appoint people who should have been elected, so the office that Dave continued to stay in, starting in January 10th, 2024, the citizens of Timberon were disenfranchised. They were not allowed to vote for a candidate. And they were not allowed to vote for a candidate for 7 months. Now, the gentleman indicates he wants to resign. But the resignation is not a proper resignation. You cannot resign for something that you were not a part of. Now, I know Mr. Cruey was here. He presided at meetings. So I'm not indicating that he wasn't here. I'm saying that he did not have the force of an elected official. And so this matter should be put toward the 12th District Court. And I'm interested in knowing what laws you're going to use to do this act today if you do continue to go through it. So that's my point of order too, Spanky, is that I believe that the statute indicates that this is the way that this matter has to be dealt with. And if you guys are seeing another statute that allows you to handle it another way, I would like that to be the answer if you guys decide to go through with this. The point of order requires an answer from you, Spanky, as to whether we're going to go through with it or not.
Well, at our last special meeting, this actually came up quite a bit, Mike. And I know that the vast majority of the people that were here last week, and I think the board at that time also was inclined to have the judge make this decision. I disagree, but we'll, I guess we'll find out what happens here shortly.
Now, the fallout from this, and why I'm personally concerned about this as just a citizen of the district, is that basis what Robin indicated, any official acts that he signed, I noticed that you guys swore back in 2 board members. I'm happy that y'all did that, but that indicates that you guys know that his actions were not valid. And so, well, I'm making that assumption. You guys may not think that.
No, it's a mess, Mike. You know, I mean, it was not something that was done intentionally. It's a mess. You know, and honestly, I think, you know, to be fair with our customers and everything, and the people of Timberon, you know, it's my opinion, and I stated it at our last special meeting, that, you know, it was my opinion that we should be letting the judge make this decision.
The risk here,
and I'm aware of what the risks are. You know, I mean, it creates all kinds of issues.
Right, and so if I am correct in indicating the proper statute that has to be followed, and you guys go and do an appointment when y'all are out of order and you don't have the authority to do so, then that appointment is going to also be seen to be in question. And we know from previous times that the state will make us redo a lot of stuff. The problem with that is it will cost the district money to do so. So my concern here is for money, their money concern, and to make sure that our elections are clean, that we don't have people overstaying their office when they shouldn't have done so. You know, I thank y'all for letting me speak.
Thank you, Mike. Arden?
I've been talking to Robin also, and she said she wasn't sure if the judges were doing that, and she was going to check with them. They were all busy with cases, and she was going to call me back this afternoon.
Arden, I have the statute current update from 2023. It is still that I read from the 2023 statute.
Oh, you're right. I know. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Too, but that's what she was saying. The judges, she wasn't sure the judges were doing it still, and she was going to clarify that. And I mean, could be the judge, the legislature wrote the statute, you know, talking to the judges. I don't know, but there's a possibility that they still don't want to do it anymore or something. I don't know. I'm waiting for her to give me a call back.
Any other comments from?
Yeah, I've got several.
Okay.
One,
everybody on this board right now has been selected by the same process, right?
Yep.
What process?
Well, we have, right now on the board, we have 2 elected members, 2 appointed.
So does all this that he's talking about affect you two? Because aren't you the only two that were
Yeah.
actually voting in?
Elected, yes.
Yeah, and there's no issues with Mr. Hardesty and Mr. Burmeister. There was just, it was overlooked when Dave overstayed his appointment. So the reason we swore in these 2 board members was because Dave had sworn them in before. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that we're good with the board the way it is right now. And I do know that I'm pretty sure, still working on this with the county clerk, that this upcoming election in November, we should have 3 or 4.
I thought I was done, but people are telling me I go 1 more year.
Oh, Christ.
So I believe we have 3 seats that will be up for an election in November. And it will be the 2 appointed seats.
So if our appointment is valid, why does Jesse and Dave not, their election wouldn't be valid?
Well, it would be, you know, if we appoint them today.
Okay,
I'm assuming
that's not what Mr. Gonzalez says.
You know, that's, you know, I'm not a lawyer.
What the law says is that you have 30 days to fill it. And if you don't fill it within the 30 days, then it is the responsibility of the district judge.
Correct.
So if you think about it in the way that Michael presented it, you had 30 days from the January the 9th, was that the date, right? You had 30 days to refill it. You could have done that, but you did not.
Well, we still haven't,
30 days.
We haven't,
the judge has to do it.
We haven't gone past the 30 days yet.
It's more than 30 days past January the 9th.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
but
what I'm
Dave
saying.
resigned, yes.
But that's not a real resignation because he was already out. Of course, in January, he was already out.
So
It's kind of all the more reason, in my opinion, to let the judge figure it out.
Exactly.
But I just want to point out something else, and I'm not sure everybody's aware of this. So the board has been aware, should have been aware of this situation for many, many, many months. When this came about, I did some research personally and decided the way I read the laws and the way I read the different departments in the state of New Mexico, the New Mexico Ethics Department has jurisdiction over election laws. And so I filed a complaint with them on this exact same matter. And when that was done, a copy of that complaint was sent to TWSD. The election department responded after about a month, if I remember right, and said that it was not within their jurisdiction because theirs is very tight around election laws. But they went on to say that they found that the case had merit and they forwarded it to the Attorney General's office. And to my knowledge, and I can't get hardly anybody to answer the phone at the Attorney General's office, but to my knowledge, it's in the Attorney General's office and just hasn't been a decision made on it. But the board should have been aware of this months and months and months ago, and it was kind of like it was just ignored and business went on. And so I know you're confused, and I'm confused too, honestly. And I wanted some clarity months and months and months ago, and now here we are. I just don't, I don't know what to say more than that. This is not something new that just Michael brought up. I'm glad he did, and thank you very much for doing that, but this has been hanging out there for months and months and months, and no action has happened.
Well, Tony, I personally wasn't aware that there was an issue until Mike brought it up. You know, so, you know,
And that's
I
fine.
mean, I did.
That's fine. I mean, I have a copy where they told me they forwarded it to you, but maybe.
No, I did. I have read that.
Okay.
Yeah. But as far as, you know, what you're talking about, Dave's position and the time that he was on the board when it wasn't supposed to be, or I wasn't aware of that. You know, what I can say, and I mean, this is not an excuse, but since I've been on the board, in February of 22, I was appointed to the board. We've had like 10 or 11 resignations.
We've had 14 board members, we were looking for
Okay.
number 15.
Try keeping track of that,
All
Tony.
right, it's great. I agree with you.
And try keeping track of who's in what seat, and
No, I agree with you.
I mean, that's why I say I'm not disagreeing.